What's up, dude? So, who is Katie Sorensen and what is the controversy? So on December 7th, 2020, Katie Sorensen went to a Michael's craft store in Petaluma, California, and when she was leaving the store and walking through the parking lot, she claims that a couple tried to kidnap her children. Unfortunately, I couldn't find Katie's original video, so here is a bootleg version of it, but I have this YouTube video tagged in the description box down below.
So here we go. On Monday, like I said, my children were the targets of attempted kidnap. We went through the store quickly, grab our stuff, and go. I only had 2 items I needed to grab. And then I did a Target pickup, so that was the only time we were getting out of the car. So we get to Michael's. I park as far away as possible in an effort to not inconvenience others with our big stroller. That was always my go-to. Whenever I brought the double stroller, I'd park far away so that people wouldn't be frustrated with me taking forever getting the stroller in and out. That is the first thing that from this day forward I will be doing differently if I ever choose to bring my kids out again. To what saying behind me. And this is when I knew without a shadow of a doubt that they were talking about my children for purposes that were not appropriate or not, that didn't sit right. They were talking about like their eyes, their face, and everything. And then the thing that disturbed me the most was that the gentleman said, sorry, this is really hard to, the gentleman said to whomever he was talking to on the phone or whatever, sorry, the boy will be easier because he's not wearing a mask, so the mom must not really care about him that much. I can't tell you why I didn't turn around and say something right then. Why I didn't even have the courage to shoot a mean look. I was paralyzed with fear. So check out quickly, 2 items. I walk out, call David, my husband, and I say to him, if we had a code word, we talked about having a code word before. If we had a code word, I'd be using that right now. He's like, what the heck are you talking about? And I said, I think someone was following me in the store and talking about the kids. He's like, what? What are you talking about? And as I'm saying this, I feel someone walking right behind me. And I turn around and sure enough, they are right behind me. They did not buy anything at the store. They must have put down whatever they had picked up to pretend to buy and followed me out. They notice me, notice them, so they go like they're going to their car. And I start walking more quickly. I look up at my car, and there is a white van parked exactly right next to my car. So to just play out where... So I was parked in the spot closest to our store, if that makes sense. Like, in the parking lot that's still close to our store that we were going to. That's the parking lot I was in. And I was in the second to last parking spot. So there was only one spot in between myself and the area where other traffic can go through. So that van was positioned perfectly right next to my car, blocked by my own car in a way that if people were around, they wouldn't be able to see what was going on. So I see that van and my stomach just sinks and I don't know what to do. I'm too afraid to change the direction I'm going. I can't explain to you what I was thinking. There was no logic. It was very just, I was terrified and I didn't know what I was doing. So I walked straight to my car, had the stroller right next to me and I didn't lock it. And so he just slides barely out of reach. As that's happening, I see the couple walking towards my car, and they walk around, not the full perimeter, but half of the car. They go back and forth around half of my car. And they're doing that thing again where they're not looking at me, so I can't make eye contact with them. I'm looking right at them, but they won't look at me. And while they're doing that, they're holding hands, and I'm gonna show you, if I can, kind of how they were. So they were holding hands kind of like this, like they had their hands like this. They weren't actually holding hands. He had something in his hand and she just had her hand like this. And they're walking towards my car, towards my stroller. And I'm just saying to Dave, this is happening right now. What do I do? This is happening right now. Do I leave? What do I do? I'm too afraid to say something to them. I couldn't. I couldn't do it. I don't know why. Bother me. And then as I go to, I decide I'm just going to throw Finley and the stroller. I don't even care about the stroller. I'm just going to throw Finley in the trunk. I'm going to jump in the trunk. We're going to close this car. We're getting out of here. All the while, I'm so focused on this couple, I'm not paying attention to the van. It's almost like that's become irrelevant to me because that was kind of speculation in the first place. But I open the trunk. As I'm opening the trunk, it goes boop, boop, boop. Finley is next to me, but there's a hair of a second where I can't see all of the stroller, you know what I mean? And in that hair of a second, they had taken 2 steps forward towards the stroller, then 2 steps back, then 2 steps forward, then 2 steps back. It made no sense. It was obvious what they were doing. In that last time, he reaches for the stroller, and by the absolute grace of God, someone is parked just a few spots away, just close enough to see what's going on, but not close enough for the people that are involved in trying to take my child to notice. And it's an old man. He must have been like 80 plus years old. Looks at me, and he has this mask on, and his eyes get so big, kind of asking, like, do you need help? And I just yell, excuse me, can you please help me? And this little old man just comes running over, and the couple, whatever they drop, they didn't drop anything. They just don't stop reaching for the stroller, run, get in their car, drive off. And in that moment, I feel a rush behind me, and I turn around, and there is a man right behind me. And he kind of plays it off like, oh, do you need help with something? And I just look at him. I'm just paralyzed. Like, I can't talk. I'm just, he gets in the van, shuts the door, and just drives off quickly. And I drive off, and I file a police report. And that is the extent of that.
She posted the video about the near abduction a week after it happened, and it got over 4 million views. She posted the video on Instagram, and people who saw the video were praising Katie for posting the video to raise awareness for parents to, pay attention to their surroundings and make sure that they're not distracted when they're with their children, because something like this could honestly happen to anybody. Katie did file a police report about the incident, and they were following up with her to try to figure out who the couple was. Police decided that the report was a suspicious circumstances case. They noted that there were inconsistencies in the stories that Katie was telling the police and the video that she made about the instance. So they didn't quite match up. Like when, she gave the police her statement, and her recollection about what happened was very different than what she was saying in the video that she posted on Instagram. The authorities released security cam footage of the couple, who were identified as Latino by Katie. By December 18th, 2020, the Petaluma police found no evidence that a crime was committed, and they ended up closing the case. The couple who were seen in the security footage saw their image on news accounts, like on social media, and they ended up coming forward and denied the allegations.
So on December 7th of 2021, my husband and I went to Michael's. I was looking for a little nativity set for Christmas. No big deal. We went shopping. I bought my nativity set, and we came home. Then, so I think it was like 2 days later, my daughter came to me with a picture that was circulating online. Her friends had been sending it to her, saying that people thought it was me and my husband. This was the picture that was released on behalf of by the police department. They were looking for the potential suspects that supposedly tried to abduct this lady's children when she was shopping at Michael's. Yes, at the same time we were. So we thought it was funny that people thought it was us because, like I said, we went shopping and nothing happened. So why would we even think? What made it even funnier was because we already have 5 kids, so we're obviously not out looking for more. So she brought the picture to me numerous times. I've then seen everybody commenting about it on Facebook, everybody I knew. Shortly after, a friend was able to verify that the gentleman in the picture was in fact wearing a Black Lives Matter hoodie. So I kind of realized at that point that it really was us in the picture. I think it was a couple hours later, I then received a Facebook message from a Petaluma police officer. If we could please come forward. So once we submitted our statement to the police then wanted to conduct an interview with us. So we had an interview with our attorney present. We stated the same thing we've been stating all along, that we don't know Katie. None of this ever actually happened. We didn't even notice her. They were able to investigate, and they came to the decision that
the couple was Sadie and Eddie Martinez, and they said that all they were doing at the store was shopping for Christmas decorations, and they accused Katie of racially profiling them. I couldn't believe it, Sadie Martinez said during a press conference at the time, according to the Press Democrat. It's like we're literally guilty of being brown while shopping. The next year in April, Katie was charged with giving false information to police. Prosecutors said that the former Sonoma resident was trying to boost her Instagram brand and raise money when she made the attempted kidnapping report and videos. So at the time, Katie really didn't have much of a following. It's like she was trying to become a mommy type influencer, like the family vloggers are kind of, and then they post a lot of content on Instagram in relation to being a mom and products that they use and things that they do with their children. That's kind of what Katie was attempting to be. She was trying to make money doing that, which is, it's not easy, but trying to gain notoriety through a situation like this is not cool. Katie claimed that she had misinterpreted the events in the parking lot, and the case was going to move on to trial, but it was delayed because Katie's attorney wasn't prepared for the trial, and they claimed that the police department wasn't handing over information that they were requesting at the time. The delay was granted, and the next hearing was scheduled for January 7th. Katie's attorney signaled that she would seek a plea deal so that the case wouldn't have to go on to trial. Katie's mom set up a GoFundMe to attempt to raise $50,000 to help bolster her daughter's defense in the case. Last I heard, it raised about $2,300. The case was delayed a few times, and during the time that the case kept getting pushed back, Katie's attorney was trying to seek a diversion, so basically get the case thrown out of court. But during that time, Katie and her family moved to Montana. Under a diversion, a misdemeanor case, which is what Katie's case was, can be postponed for up to 2 years and then dismissed if the defendant, Katie, completes the terms and conditions that are set in court. Ms. Sorensen's claim of misinterpreting the events of the day in question is preposterous, and the claim was resoundingly rejected by the jury. Deputy District Attorney Robert Warner wrote in the sentencing brief. On April 26, Katie was convicted of one count of filing a false police report, but was acquitted of 2 other counts related to alleged false statements that she made in interviews with the dispatcher and the officer. According to the Press Democrat, each count carried a maximum sentence of 180 days in jail or under work release. According to the district attorney's recommendation, 90 days would be suspended if Sorensen completes a 12-month conditional release. So the terms would be have no contact with Sadie and Eddie Martinez, not be allowed to use social media, which now since all of this has come up, she has deleted any presence that she had on social media. Submit to warrantless searches and seizures at any time of the day or night. Provide passwords to her electronic devices upon request by law enforcement. Complete implicit bias training and counseling sessions that explore the causative factors associated with this crime. Katie would have to stay in Sonoma County if a judge does grant her a work release instead of jail time for the 90 days she's supposed to be in custody, according to the Press Democrat. So her work release would be in connection to her mommy influencing that she wanted to do. That would be the work that she would try to seek a release for. Sonoma County officials would need to ask authorities in Montana to conduct searches of Sorensen's electronic devices. However, she has yet to be sentenced, and a date for the sentencing hasn't been released yet. Katie's bail is set at $100,000, and the maximum sentence that she could get would be 6 months in jail. So how do you feel about this case? Do you think that Katie should get the maximum sentence of 6 months in jail? Do you think that a crime was committed? I'm very curious to see what you think. Sadie and Eddie Martinez do feel that there has been some justice for their case. I mean, really, by falsely accusing someone of trying to kidnap your children, you could really be affecting that couple's life, and now they'll kind of always be associated with this case. And that's just not fair to them, on because no crime was committed. But I am curious to see what you guys think about this, so please leave it in the comments down below. But that is it for me today. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you found it interesting and subscribe to my channel if you feel like it. If not, totally cool. Thanks for watching this video. But for those of you that will be back, I will have another true crime career video up and ready for you. Bye guys!